Hello children, welcome to Vivid Botany. We have a question here about the sewage treatment. Let us look about the sewage treatment. This is the most important topic in plus 2 biology. So let me explain you that. Here the specialty is that in sewage treatment microbes are used, no chemicals are used, no fuels are used like that of the petroleum, kerosene, diesel, electricity. Nothing is used here. In this sewage treatment, only microbes are used. And by using microbes, the complete recycling is done. The complete sewage is recycled. So it is completely eco-friendly and doesn't cause any cost also. It doesn't require any that much cost also. It is very cheap and no technicalities are required. So this kind of purification of sewage by using microbes in eco-friendly manner is called bioremediation. Do remember that term? It is called bioremediation. So this is by using microbes, the sewage is recycled. We know that majority of the sewage is domestic sewage only. Domestic sewage, among which the major component is human excreta, that causes much pollution rather than rest of the pollutants. So this sewage is recycled by using microbes in eco-friendly manner. This is more important. It is used in eco-friendly manner. So in this sewage treatment, that is bioremediation, two steps are there, two types of treatments are there. In fact, three are there. Let me tell you first the two types. First one is primary treatment. Two steps are there. The two steps include here. One is primary treatment and the other is secondary treatment. So what is primary treatment? In this only it is abiological, that is it is non-biological treatment. It is just physical treatment. Whereas secondary treatment is biological treatment. So here the microbes are involved in secondary treatment but not in the primary treatment. So what is this primary treatment? Primary treatment is physical removal of the small pebbles, stones or any other objects that are bigger in size that can be handled very easily is called as primary treatment. So I told you primary treatment is just physical treatment. In this primary treatment, basically two steps are there. One is, what do we call that? As I told you, two steps are there in primary treatment. One is floating debris. Do remember the terms. Floating debris is removed by sequential filtration. And grit includes small pebbles or small insoluble substances. This grit is removed by, separated by sedimentation. The keywords are here. You should remember floating debris is removed by sequential filtration. Grit is removed by sedimentation. Now, after removing the floating debris and the grit, what remains after the primary treatment? The effluents or supernatant remain after the primary treatment, and these effluents and supernatants are sent for the secondary treatment. Before that, the sediment, all solids that settle in the primary treatment plant that forms the primary sludge, all solids that settle in primary treatment plant are called as primary sludge. So, after removal of the primary sludge, the supernatants, which are also called as effluents, are sent for secondary treatment. Yes, which we call it as the biological treatment. So let us see what is this secondary treatment, which is biological treatment where the microbes are involved. Secondary treatment plant, what we call it as STP secondary treatment. So in STP, agitation is done. Agitation means what do we call large quantitative air is pumped into that. We know that. Remember always in any water body, if it is polluted, the pollution is due to either less availability of oxygen or non-availability of oxygen. Generally, a water body is polluted due to accumulation of the organic matter. When this organic matter has to undergo actually the degradation, the oxidation. Oxidation takes place in the presence of oxygen. But when oxygen availability is less or it is nil, that organic matter does not undergo oxidation or it undergoes oxidation very slowly, that leads to pollution of the water body. For example, if the same organic matter present on a mountain or in a forest, then that organic matter can undergo oxidation or degradation without any difficulty because of the availability of oxygen. We know that generally in water bodies availability of oxygen is very less. So when a water body is getting polluted, the main scarcity, the main reason is shortage of oxygen. So we have to pump oxygen into the water body. We do not pump exact oxygen, but we pump air into the water body. If you go to any big lakes or ponds where it is polluted, the government will arrange wheels, turbines, agitators. So when you see the fountains also, these fountains will be sprinkling the water. At the same time, they will be pumping air, lots of air into the water body. So due to pumping of air, the oxygen content inside the water body increases, and with the availability of oxygen, whatever organic matter is there in that water body gets oxidized. As it gets oxidized, oxidation means organic will convert into inorganic. The carbon debris will convert into inorganic mineral nutrients. So this oxidation, as it speed up the organic debris, as it converts into inorganic elements, the pollutants quantity will decrease. As a result, the biological oxygen demand will also decrease. As biological oxygen demand decreases, pollution also decreases. So the same thing we do in case of secondary treatment plant also. So here we call them as large aeration tanks. right? The secondary treatment plant is called as large aeration tank. So supernatant, please observe very carefully. Supernatants, or we call them as effluents, are sent into large aeration tanks. What do we do in the large aeration tanks? Here, we constantly agitate, we mechanically agitate, and we pump air into the tanks. And air is pumped by mechanical agitation. Air is pumped by mechanical agitation into the tank. So what happens by pumping air? You know that air contains 21% of oxygen. So oxygen content inside the aeration tank increases. I am writing. So oxygen content or oxygen percentage, better I write, oxygen percentage increases. As oxygen percentage increases, the aerobic bacteria and fungi will develop a lot inside that aeration tank. So what happens? Aerobic bacteria, you know that aerobic bacteria love the presence of oxygen. So earlier there was no oxygen in that organic debris. As oxygen percentage increased, the aerobic bacteria as well as fungal mycelium will develop very richly in aeration tanks. So this developed fungal mycelium along with aerobic bacteria is called as flux. Is called as flux. Say spelling FLOCS. It's not FLOCKS. FLOCS includes the fungal mycelium as well as the bacteria, both. Now what happens here? By increasing the increasing the percentage of aerobic bacteria in the large aeration tank, what this aerobic bacteria will do? This aerobic bacteria will cause degradation of the organic matter. It causes the digestion of the organic matter. So the aerobic bacteria along with fungi causes digestion of organic matter. As a result, organic matter content decreases in the water body. We know that when organic matter undergoes the digestion, the degradation, it converts into inorganic matter. So organic matter will convert into inorganic matter by means of oxidation. Oxidation means what? Addition of oxygen. Hope you have understood, I think. So by means of oxidation, organic matter will convert into inorganic matter. Right. So as organic matter converts into inorganic matter, organic matter decreases. The next step is that the content of organic matter decreases. Right. Next, after organic matter got decreases, then demand for oxygen also decreases, because when the demand for oxygen will be more, when there is lot of organic matter to be digested, that requires more oxygen. But the organic matter, as it is getting down, then the requirement for oxygen also will go down. So the demand for oxygen goes down. This is what we call as BOD, that is biological oxygen demand. Biological oxygen demand. It's also called as biochemical oxygen demand. So BOD also decreases. So how do we understand this BOD? It is actually a measure of pollution in water bodies. It is nothing but the amount of oxygen required to oxidize the organic matter present in 1 liter of water. So I write it here. It is the amount of oxygen required to oxidize the organic matter present in 1 liter of water. So BOD is biochemical or biological oxygen demand, is a measure for water pollution. In fact, it is directly proportional to the pollution. If BOD is greater, then pollution will be greater. If BOD is less, then pollution will be also less. So BOD is directly proportional to the pollution. Do remember, I am keeping it in a box. So that is about the BOD. Now what happens here? As the BOD decreases, the pollution also decreases. The pollution also decreases, because I told you that when BOD decreases, pollution also decreases. Right. Now, next, what is the step? We know that the organic matter decreased by the oxidation of that by aerobic bacteria as well as the fungi. So organic matter will go down, pollution will go down, BOD will go down. But aerobic bacteria increase tremendously. Then what to do with this aerobic bacteria? This aerobic bacteria is allowed to settle down, allowed to sediment in a settling tank. That settled down aerobic bacteria is called as activated sludge. So the aerobic bacteria as well as the flux, they are allowed to settle down. They are allowed to sediment. Right. So this sediment is called as activated sludge, which is called as activated sludge. So this is another word that I am adding here, activated sludge. Right. Now What to do with this activated sludge? Activated sludge contains what? Aerobic bacteria as well as the flocks, the fungal mycelium. So this activated sludge, part of the activated sludge is sent back into the aeration tank, the inoculum, to continue the further sewage treatment, further secondary treatment. Remaining part of activated sludge is sent into anaerobic sludge digesters. So here part of the activated sludge is sent to aeration tank. Is sent to aeration tank as inoculum. I think you should guess why should we send this part of the activated sludge to aeration tank, because aeration tank from which we have removed all the aerobic bacteria. Now this aerobic bacteria requires further for the next next purification of the organic matter next time. For that we have to send some little part of this flux, this activated sludge to aeration tank for the next further bioremediation in secondary treatment plant. And remaining part of activated sludge is sent to anaerobic sludge digesters. Anaerobic sludge digesters, right? Where anaerobic bacteria are present. This anaerobic bacteria present in anaerobic sludge digesters will cause digestion of aerobic bacteria. The anaerobic bacteria present in anaerobic sludge digester will cause digestion of the flux, that is aerobic bacteria. And during this digestion of aerobic bacteria, the anaerobic bacteria will release the biogas, during which they in the sense anaerobic bacteria, methanogens they are called, they release biogas. This biogas mainly contains methane, carbon dioxide, H2S, and traces of some other gases. Release biogas. So this biogas can be used for gaseous fuel, can be used as gaseous fuel, right? So now after the treatment of the aerobic bacteria by aerobic bacteria, complete that effluent or the supernatant are completely removed all the pollutants. Now they can be released into the nearby rivers. They don't cause any harm to that microbes or the flora fauna present in that river. So it is completely eco-friendly. No technicalities are required. Very cheap. So it is very promising method for the ecosystem to purify and recycle the domestic as well as the industrial garbage. So a statement is there that till now no man-made technology has been able to rival the microbial treatment or sewage. That is, nobody can substitute the microbes in purifying these sewage. And that is, we did not invent any type of device, any type of technicality, a type of method that can, what do you call, substitute, that can replace the microbial treatment of the sewage. Really, this statement is very nice. We are using Ganga action plan, Yamuna action plan also in similar treatment for the sewage in our holy rivers of India. So I repeat once again, see here, first we make use of the, what do you call, the aerobic, thereafter we make use of the anaerobic. So I repeat here, I am repeating only the secondary treatment because primary treatment is just physical treatment only. In secondary treatment, first we take the agitation. By agitation, what happens? Aerobic bacteria increases. Aerobic bacteria, fungal mycelium will increase. They are called as FLOCS, flocks. So this aerobic bacteria cause digestion of organic matter, and BOD decreases here. Biological oxygen demand decreases, even pollution also decreases. And after the digestion of organic matter by aerobic bacteria, the aerobic bacteria allowed to sediment. The sediment is called as activated sludge. The sediment is called as activated sludge. This activated sludge is partly sent to where the aeration tanks. They see that agitation takes place in aeration tank, large aeration tanks. So the large aeration tank, partly it is sent, and remaining activated sludge is sent to anaerobic sludge digester. Anaerobic sludge digester. So in anaerobic sludge digester, what happens? The remaining part of activated sludge is treated by anaerobic bacteria. Anaerobic bacteria. Right, where they release the biogas. Biogas liberates. So anaerobic bacteria are acting upon the activated sludge in anaerobic sludge digester. So this is the explanation for the biological treatment of the sewage. It's also called bioremediation. Really, it's a very, very, very important question in the +2 biology. Now let's see the question here. Which of the following is put into anaerobic sludge digester for further sewage treatment? Primary sludge. No. Primary sludge is formed as part of primary treatment. It is formed as part of primary treatment, the sediment of primary treatment. Floating debris. Floating debris is also primary. I told you floating debris is removed by sequential filtration. So it is also part of the primary treatment. It's also not the answer. And third option, effluents of primary treatment. It is also the primary treatment. So the options are given very easy. It did not go into secondary treatment. So the answer is here, activated sludge. Do remember the aerobic bacteria, the flax, the fungal mycelium, after digesting the organic matter, the sediment part is called as activated sludge. So this question is very, 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 very important. If you do not understand it, please make a comment in my channel Vivid Botany. I'll explain it in a flowchart once again. But please put up your response. Please say how do you feel the explanation? Is it correct? Is it reaching to you? Are you able to understand this explanation or not? If I know that, I can reach to you in a better way. So don't forget to respond. Don't forget to drop a comment in the channel Vivid Botany. And please subscribe my channel Vivid Botany. Thank you.